Whatever happened to the days when a business could have a couple of freeloaders, as in two who were not paying customers of the establishment, ejected from their premises after they were repeatedly asked to either buy something or leave? I guess those days are over now for some reason, at least for a certain group that is. For those of you out of the loop, two black men were loitering at a Philadelphia Starbucks. They wanted to use the bathroom without buying something and would not leave after they were told no. The bathrooms are for customers only, which is a policy of pretty much every business in the food service industry. But for some reason they felt that the rules did not apply to them. I guess maybe they didn't have a strong male role model in their lives to teach them that this isn't how things work in the real world. They were given the option to buy something or leave the premises, the very same option that anyone else would have been given regardless of their ethnic background, an option that is very reasonable and well within the right of a business to give. If the manager had given, for argumentative sake, two men who were white the very same options under the very same circumstances, unless they were soy boys, we wouldn't be hearing about this right now. No one would have heard about this one. No one would have cared. But if it did gain national spotlight, it would be because the cultural Marxist, leftist SJWs would be declaring what happened was a triumph for social justice and the fight against the plights of white and male privileges. After all, in the narrative they would push, it would be two white guys being arrested for believing that they are above the law and rules do not apply to them. They would take the facts and twist them to fit this work of fiction, and almost no one on the left would even think to question it. They would just take it at face value and use it as a rally cry to go after white men even more than they are now, for supposedly being toxic, privileged, racist pigs who have to pay for some perceived sins of their ancestors and race. But that didn't happen, and the only narrative the left has is that the two arrested were doing nothing wrong. They were profiled because of their skin color and arrested for WWB, walking while black. I kid you not on this. There are actually people pushing that these two guys who were physically sitting down after they were told to buy something in order to use the bathroom or leave, who were loitering, trespassing, disturbing the peace, and not obeying the lawful orders of the police, were arrested for being black. They just happen to conveniently ignore all these facts to come to this conclusion they have about the situation. One would think that the facts would be winning out, but they aren't. If you go to Google or say Bing to search for the original video of the police dealing with these freeloaders, you end up being flooded with legacy and leftist media outlets pushing the WWB narrative and how racist the whole situation is. If you are searching for pretty much anything about this incident, that is what you get. This has gone so far now, Starbucks is actually helping them push the narrative and has decided to close its corporate stores for a day for mandatory training on how not to be racist. I am simplifying things here, but that's the gist of what they're doing, and it assumes that everyone, every white, is a racist and needs to be trained on how not to be one. This is being done in partnership with the ADL, an organization that has become about hating whites and spreading lies about them. These are the same people who tried to claim that giving the OK symbol with your fingers was a white supremacist sign. Looking at their teaming up with Starbucks, combined with the cultural Marxist fallacy non-whites can't be racist, and it is clear this will not be a training day focused around changing the racist views of all employees, regardless of skin color. It will be a training day of shoveling white guilt down the throats of employees until they choke on it and hopefully agree it's real to make it stop. The ADL is famous for doing this exact type of thing. What is going to end up happening as a result of this incident is the company's rules will only be selectively enforced in favor of blacks. Now, what I'm about to say is politically incorrect, and my choice of an example is meant in part to be funny and not meant about all blacks. But mark my words, you will be seeing this start to happen at Starbucks because they know they will be able to get away with it. In the age of the Obama phone, when there is free Wi-Fi at Starbucks, and you now know you cannot be kicked out for being a freeloading scumbag, waste of space, all because of your skin color, you know blacks are going to be going to their local Starbucks location, not to buy a damn thing, and sit there for hours on end while surfing the internet and charging their phones on Starbucks dime. This is inevitable. So is the fact that people will try to push this as being acceptable behavior that other coffee shops, restaurants, and establishments must accept within their business. When that time comes, if they do not want to willingly allow for freeloaders to hang around their businesses, not buy anything, use their internet and electricity along with their facilities, the left will just try to force them to do so through the government in some way, like legislation for example. They have managed to do just that using feels over reals in regards to bathrooms and gender. If they will go that far, you don't think they will take a couple of steps back for something like this? If you honestly believe that they wouldn't, you are deluded. These are people who do not believe that a business owner or a person in charge of it have the right to dictate what goes on within it, never mind built it. They have made this clear on multiple occasions, even going so far as to wipe their ass with the Constitution in the process. Christian bakers, for example. They have seen the wrath of the left brought against them and have been forced to bake cakes for gay weddings in violation of their beliefs in the First Amendment's protection of freedom of religion. Businesses have been forced to let men use the ladies' locker and restrooms, and for them to use the men's locker and restrooms as well, so long as they claim to identify with the gender on the door. They have even tried to force companies to pay for abortions. This incident at Starbucks is just another example of the left trying to force what it wants on the majority of society here in the United States. They have succeeded here too. The CEO of Starbucks has bowed down to their lunacy instead of publicly putting the facts of what happened out there to counter the narrative. And in that instant, Starbucks became Starcucks and a dying BLM was given new life. Doing it is almost like Starbucks CEO is using the company he's supposed to operate in the best interest of to push the cultural Marxist leftist agenda in contradiction to that. Wait, that's exactly what he has done in the past with the company. Or do people forget the holiday attack on Christianity? Having used the company in the past to do this, why not take advantage of an opportunity that presents itself, and he did. Before these two wastes of space decided to act a fool, BLM was fading away and dying a slow death. Not having criminals who are black to act like criminals, not obey lawful orders of police, or go for their weapons and in the process get shot. You get desperate and you will take anything you can get. Which is what the left has done here. Hell, they are hating on cops again, and no one was being shot in the middle of a criminal act. When the left keeps trying anything and everything to gain ground, as they have done here, I have to ask this. When is it going to stop? When are the people going to say enough is enough? When are they going to decide to be adults and tell these mentally aged children who have been brainwashed by cultural Marxism how things really are? Because until they do, we are just going to keep heading down the path we are, losing ground, while they gaining it until it's too late. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.